Welcome to Cassidy's Post. I'm Ed Cassidy. Hillary Clinton to Donald Trump. Basta. She said enough. Hillary Clinton put Donald Trump right in her sights. In a speech at the National Council of La Raza in Kansas City, the Democratic frontrunner for the presidential nomination expressed her displeasure with the Republican candidate and real estate's mogul's invectives against Mexican immigrants, many of whom Trump said are drug dealers and rapists. It was appalling to hear Donald Trump describe immigrants as drug dealers, racist, and criminals. I think she meant rapist. Whoever put that in there put racist, but that would be rapist, I guess. He's talking about people who love this country, work hard, and want nothing more than a chance to build a better life for themselves in this country. Well, I think we should believe anything Hillary said. Clinton said she has embraced immigration reform as one of the major goals of her would-be presidency, saying she supports a full path to citizenship for undocumented immigrations and would take executive actions that go further than President Obama's to protect the undocumented from deportation. See how they play with words? Undocumented. This isn't undocumented, Hillary. This is illegals. Trump has been a headache for the Republican leadership, which is struggling to appeal to both conservative primary voters and reach out to new Hispanic immigrants. Much of the Republican field of candidates has condemned him. If she wins the primary, Hispanics will be a key demographic for Clinton in a general election, and the Clinton campaign has often used Spanish in its messaging. Monday's speech, however, was especially to the point. Yes, it was. You notice how they use them words again, I want to say. Undocumented workers. They're not undocumented workers. They're illegal. Illegal. They don't belong here. Let's see what Hillary said back in 2003 when the Republicans were letting the immigrants over. Let's see what she said back then.
We've got to do several things, and I am, adamantly against illegal immigrants. I made this exception basically on humanitarian grounds because of the individual stories, but certainly we've got to do more at our borders, and people have to stop employing illegal immigrants. Come up to Westchester, go to Suffolk and Nassau counties, stand in the street corners in Brooklyn or the Bronx. You're going to see loads of people waiting to get picked up to go do yard work and construction work and domestic work.
Is this flip-flopping? This is by no means flip-flopping. Hillary's playing the narrative. Why do you think they are fighting against voter registration so hard? They want all the illegals to vote for them. They don't care that it's destroying the country. It don't affect them. It affects you and I. How much have any of these people done for this country? Think about that. They're going to do something for you now? Name anything any of these people. Clinton, old man Bush, stupid George, or Obama. What have they done but deteriorate this country? Is Trump right? Absolutely 100% correct on this issue. Do I trust Donald Trump? No, I don't trust him either. I'm not for either side. The policies are the same no matter who wins. The puppet will do as his master says. This is Dennis Michael Lynch. He made the documentaries They Come to America. I guess he has 1, 2, and 3. This man went down and studied the border, went to the unemployment lines. You need to see his documentary. It seems like his documentaries are being censored. Is the movie They Come to America being censored? Yeah, I would say it probably is. No doubt about that. They don't want anybody to really know what's going on. God forbid that. They don't want you to know. Of course not. Now let's look at a few of his video clips. From They Come to America and How the TSA Protects You.
When an apprehension is made, the illegal alien is brought to a Border Patrol station for processing. And that's where the insanity begins. All right, out of 100 people that come through that you catch, how many of them are criminals that have criminal backgrounds?
It is unbelievably overwhelming. I wish the American people had the ability to see some of these background checks that we run on people.
And what aren't we seeing?
You're not seeing the rapists, the murderers that come from other countries. You're not seeing the potential, the terrorists that come from these other countries.
When you say they're criminal, you're talking about criminals that they've already committed crimes in the United States and they've gone back into Mexico and then came across again?
That's correct.
Okay, so these are criminals that have a U.S. criminal background. If a person comes through the border and he's committed crimes in Mexico or Honduras or Iraq or Iran or China, would you know that information?
There's absolutely no way that we will know if they have committed those crimes in other countries unless they have been put on a high-level security watch list, which is going to require assets from a whole different level of the intelligence community.
My concern has always been that the next major terror attack would come from the rail.
The potential for an ISIS-inspired attack in the U.S. Law enforcement is at the ready from coast to coast.
There is word of an alleged subway terror plot that has everyone's attention today, and city officials scrambled to reassure the public.
The commissioner issuing this statement saying, quote, "We're doing everything we can to protect this vital component of our infrastructure. Those security efforts on Amtrak include passenger and baggage screenings."
If you notice something that just doesn't look right, take the extra effort and report it to local authorities.
Imagine this. Inside the red bag are explosive devices and radioactive materials. In the black bag, there is a filled propane tank. On the bag around my left shoulder, a high-powered rifle, and the fourth bag contains a series of handguns. Now, I understand that I may not fit the profile of an Islamic terrorist, but at a time when security is supposed to be at its best, I am going to attempt to walk down the up escalator located between two Amtrak employee entrances. I am doing everything I can to draw attention to myself. Enter the train, and the fate of all of its passengers rests in my hands.
Alex Jones sent a few of his photographers to Laredo to try to get an interview probably with Donald Trump. Here's what they found when they were down on the border.
InfoWars caught shocking video of drugs being smuggled across the U.S.-Mexico border, validating highly criticized claims by Donald Trump that illegal immigrants are bringing drugs into the U.S. InfoWars reporters Joe Biggs and Josh Owens traveled to Laredo to cover Trump's highly publicized visit. While they were recording footage of the Rio Grande River, they spotted a group of illegals crossing the river on rafts. Moments later, we see one of the men nervously holding open the trunk of a red SUV, while four others frantically toss what is almost certainly drugs into the back of the car. Those men scurry back toward Mexico, while the vehicle speeds off into the U.S. Mexican drug cartels make up to $29 billion annually from U.S. drug sales, and this footage shows just how easily that transaction happens due to the porous nature of the border. Now, while this footage may be shocking to some, it's not at all surprising. In Texas alone, foreign aliens committed more than 600,000 unique crimes from 2008 to 2014. But the president has plans for even more amnesty by expanding the number of illegal immigrants allowed to stay in the country, shielding 80% of the nation's illegals from deportation, and he has even threatened to veto a bill that would strip sanctuary cities of federal funding. The bill aims to deny cities that refuse to enforce federal immigration laws certain Justice Department grants. The bill is a response to the shooting death of 32-year-old Kate Steinle. Convicted felon Francisco Sanchez was an illegal immigrant who had already been deported multiple times, but he was free to murder because sanctuary city San Francisco is under no pressure to enforce federal laws. Listen to the heart-wrenching testimony of Laura Wilkerson, a mother whose son was murdered by an illegal immigrant.
You're officially notified today there's a problem when this happens. You can't deny it any longer. You cannot stand by and ignore our families, our American families. You're elected by Americans, not any other country. You should be for Americans. I will not give up control another one of my children so that a foreign person can have a nicer life. Sanctuary city policies scream to the criminal element of illegals in this country. There is a criminal element. It screams to them, come to our town, USA. We'll protect you from our terrible policemen. We'll protect you from these tough American laws.
These water stations with this sign is found 100 miles in the interior of Texas, 100 miles from the Mexican border. If you need help, push the red button. Help will arrive. Do not leave the area. It's written in English, Spanish, and Chinese. Marketing 101. Advertise to the people you believe are going to read it. Hey, thank you for watching. I'll try to get a video up at least once a week for you. But I want to thank you for watching again. And this is Ed Cassidy saying, see ya.